Conspiracy theories, eh? Wait till you get a load of this.
Hello, and welcome to Cracked Sisters Conspiracies. We're a podcast that covers conspiracy theories, mysteries, and all of our spooky shit. My name's Jackie.
And I'm Cassandra.
And we are said sisters.
We did it!
Yay!
No giggle fit.
In the car today, I was trying to remember our intro, and I was fucking up a word, and I thought I was going to do it again, which is what just made me giggle.
It's been, 2 weeks?
I don't even think it's been 2 full weeks. It feels like it's been so long.
But I know it hasn't, but yeah.
I know.
It's like where our schedule got thrown off and I don't know who I am, where I am,
Samesies.
what day it is. And then, daylight savings
Oh, that
was
really
yesterday.
fucked me up too, yeah. Jesus.
It's just dark always and it's sad. But yeah, you've had quite the trials and tribulations
It
over
has
the
been
last
a long 7 fucking days.
Yes. But good news is you are now a homeowner.
I am.
Congratulations.
10 out of 10 don't recommend. It's really shit. We were told by our bitch loan lady, Gina, I'm talking to you,
Putting her on blast.
that our loan would be approved after being reviewed by the underwriter on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Monday came and fucking went. And I'm like, okay, we're supposed to move in on Tuesday, Halloween day. Maybe we won't leave at 6 in the morning anymore. We'll just wait until, because obviously we'll hear something in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tuesday came and went and I had heard nothing. And every time I asked her for an update, her update was, I have no update. I said, that's super helpful. So we had already had planned. So Alex and I we had to get 2 U-Hauls because I only bought a 20-foot thinking that was more than enough space.
Yeah.
Apparently it's fucking not.
You didn't move with that much stuff.
Who knows?
Okay.
I had a lot of Alex's shit too, but you never know how much shit you have until you're fucking moving. So in the middle of packing up the first U-Haul, Alex goes, this isn't all going to fit. He goes, either we're throwing it away or we're getting a new U-Haul. So I said, let's throw it away. And he goes, let's get a new U-Haul. So he went out with mom at like 8 p.m., got a 15-foot U-Haul. We were able to finish everything in. So the next day we left, each of us driving our own U-Haul. Mom and dad followed
Mm-hmm.
in my GMC carrying a U-Haul trailer.
For the motorcycles.
Motorcycle. So we did that. And then we had nowhere to go because by the time we made it up there, the 6-hour drive, it was already past 5 p.m. So we knew it wasn't happening that day. So we bought a hotel. I got mom and dad a hotel as well. We stayed there. The next day, their flight was going, so we weren't going to rearrange that. Thankfully they were able to drive the truck, but they didn't get to see the house. They didn't get to do anything. They literally just moved our shit, and then in the morning we hauled them off. We thought they were going to miss their flight. Luckily they didn't.
I heard they had quite an adventure.
Whatever.
So.
I don't give a shit. So they did that, and then Alex and I went, cool, now what? Because we have nowhere to live and we're literally homeless. So that was on Wednesday. We didn't end up hearing anything until Friday.
After you threatened.
So we were like, I guess we can stay at your grandma's house, but we were supposed to return the U-Hauls the next day. So I have threatening messages from U-Haul. Basically, not exactly, but the way I interpreted it was they thought I was trying to live in and or steal the U-Hauls. So they were like, we're going to find you. Like Liam Neeson, we're going to repossess our U-Hauls.
Oh my God.
And you're going down. So I was panicking because I'm like, we have 3 fucking U-Hauls. We have 2 vehicles and then a trailer. And I didn't know which one they were talking about because each one's supposed to be dropped off at a different location. I'm stressing about that. I'm like, dude, I don't think we're getting this fucking house. They've gone now multiple days past our closing date. I said, we need to start coming up with a plan. So we're like, all right, cool. This underpass looks cool. We're going to change Lola's name because Lola's too nice of a dog. So she's now going to be Scrappy May. So that's her homeless dog name. So we had this whole fucking plan. And finally, on a Thursday, because I'm like, she's a pit bull, but she's the nicest.
She can't mean much to save her life.
Dog. So I'm like, no one's gonna take you seriously.
And
so I wanted.
She
is. So I wanted Scrappy Doo, but I'm like, they're gonna think you're a boy. So Scrappy May it was.
I like it.
So on Thursday we went to the leasing office or whatever, and I'm like, hey, can Alex see the house because he's never seen it? in
Oh my
person.
God.
I go, can he see it for a house we're never getting? Like, he might as well know the beautiful kitchen I put in that we're never going to live in.
The what if.
So I can hear on the other end of the phone, because the realtor is like, yeah, no problem. But I can hear only his side of the conversation. But I can tell the builders, like, well, did their loan get funded? So they don't own the house. Are you sure they're going to leave? And I'm like, bro, we're not trying to fucking squat in this house.
Oh
We
my
just want to
God.
see the fucking house and we will happily, you can escort us. We will happily leave. So that was a thing. And I'm like, hey, this has been shit. And he had no fucking idea. Our realtor had no idea.
Oh
So
my
he's like,
God.
give me 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, I had 5 phone calls, text messages from all these people. And that's what got their butts into gear. So on Friday, our loan was finally approved, funded, and recorded. So on Friday evening, we were able to move into the house.
Oh my God.
So the homeless life is not the life for me.
No.
So it's been very stressful.
But it's been resolved.
But it's done now. Yeah, we own the fucking house. They can pry my cold dead hands out of it.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
know.
not gonna be leaving anytime soon.
No. So yeah,
What a nightmare.
that's been my week.
Okay.
And as I had mentioned, I've slept in 5 different places in 7 days, and I'm going insane.
yeah, because you're now currently
I'm
back-
homeless again.
No, you're living with our parents again.
Great.
With 2 of your 3 dogs and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's an experience.
It is one that you are more familiar with than I am at this point.
Which is why, fun fact, the Halloween episode got fucked in the face because, you know, my life was in shambles. I didn't really have time to edit
About
and post our episodes. So
you know, we have all been involved in this process buying this
know.
house.
It's so stressful. for
And it's just
everyone.
been a stressful moment for the whole family. So give us a break.
Yeah. What's new with you?
I am just, you know, struggle bussing day by day, the huge, nothing too exciting here. But I am going, I already said I'm going to Legoland on Friday.
I don't think you said it on the
Okay.
podcast yet.
I'm going to Legoland on
How
Friday.
exciting.
So exciting.
You seem thrilled.
The child is happy. That's all that
I've actually heard
matters.
it's great. One of my coworkers has a year pass and he goes at least twice a year.
I'm looking forward to it. I just know it's going to be expensive.
Yes.
I mean, like, we're staying at a hotel on the property there. And so I'm like, cool, we're going to go like 2 days or whatever. But I just know that the Lego budget to actually like purchase said Legos coming with like $1,000.
Oh,
just
you're
for
going to
all-
buy Legos
Oh,
there.
You can't go to Legoland and not buy Legos.
never been to Legoland.
Neither have
I don't know.
I. But I just assume
I
that
didn't think
that's
about
what you
that.
do there. I mean,
And your husband does love a good Lego set.
I love Legos too. Like, it's so fun. Like, I get into this like hyper fixation and I'll just sit there for hours. It's great. I am not creative enough to build my own things, but like when I have that booklet, just go
There you
right
go.
to it. So that'll be something. And then it's going to be Thanksgiving soon.
I don't think anyone's doing anything for Thanksgiving.
I want to make Thanksgiving food. I don't want to see a damn person.
Well, I don't think you have to this year.
I don't
Everyone's
know.
kind of on their own.
Yeah. And then we'll reconvene for Christmas
Mhm.
and not sleep on the floor.
Correct.
Cool. So anywho, that's what we've missed in the weekish.
Week and a half?
I don't know. But yeah, it really does seem
It feels like
it's
at least a month.
so much longer. Getting a taste of what it's going to be like not being in each other's lives.
I know, it's terrible.
It's
I think
weird.
that's why it feels so much longer.
Yes, because we see each other normally
At
multiple
least-
times a
yeah,
week.
at least twice a week.
Yeah.
Minimum, yeah.
And this is probably going to be one of the last times we see each other until the end of next month.
Yeah. Well, we'll Zoom or whatever.
No, but like
equivalent, but
physically,
yeah.
I'm like, oh God, I don't have anyone to go to the gym with anymore.
Yeah.
They're going to start asking about you
I
and all the
know.
doormen. Ugh.
The doorman. I love that guy.
But yeah, but I'm excited for you guys to start your new life.
Thanks.
I'll be supportive, but bitter. It's cool. It's cool.
We got a Dyson.
I saw that.
So expensive, but it was on sale at
Yes.
Best Buy. We got it the last day of sale, so it was only $600 instead of $800. But it's the coolest. It's worth every fucking penny.
I had a Dyson back in the day in our very first apartment.
Mhm.
Evan's mom had gotten us like a refurbed one,
Oh, I
but
didn't even think about that.
amazing. It was.
It's so great.
I loved it,
And
especially
this
if
is
you
the
have
one with the
animals.
laser.
Yeah, they've come so much farther in the last 10 to 15 years, so I can only imagine.
It is. It's the almost.
It was
the
like
most
the
recent
stick one that you have, right?
Yeah. And Alex even was like, "I'll vacuum." I go, "What the fuck? I have to pull teeth to get you to vacuum." But he loves the fucking laser, and it like tells you all these specifics of the particles per million it's picking up. I don't fucking know.
But yeah, if you make it give stats and gamify it, oh yeah, so you can definitely make it interesting. Speaking of interesting things, our podcast can be interesting. What are we going to talk about today?
So the last time we had talked, I don't know when
Whatever that was.
I mentioned that I was going to cover the Lincoln assassination, but I misspoke. That's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of what I wanted to say. So what I actually wanted to say and what I ended up covering is the correlation between Abraham Lincoln's assassin and John F. Kennedy's assassin.
Was one of them John Wilkes Booth?
Yes.
Okay.
And Lee Harvey
Oswald. That's right.
Yes.
I know some history, not a whole lot. It's a weak spot.
Well, apparently this is the JFK podcast because every month I seem to cover a new fucking thing with JFK. So I try not to harp too much on him, but
he has cropped up a lot.
He has.
I mean, the whole family's fucked up. So
really, yeah. So we will get into it. And I labeled it the Lincoln Kennedy assassin entanglement because that bald bitch is on my feed all the time.
The bald bitch.
Entanglement. Dude, Will Smith's wife.
Jada. Oh,
like
God.
she's like cropped back up again like a fucking fungus. And she's just talking about shit no one cares about. And I can't get her off my For You page.
Everything I know about them and their relationship has been against my will.
Yeah.
I have not wanted to know.
She's like raping my ear holes.
But apparently Mr. Smith is gaining a backbone. He's like, fuck this lady.
Oh,
she is
thankfully.
completely just shamed me to the world. I kind of want a divorce now. She said
thank
divorce
God.
is never an option, but
yeah. But no, her big thing was when she publicly said that she was cheating on Will Smith, she said, oh, no, it was an entanglement. Like that's the word she used. So it's a very popular pop culture thing that apparently you've never heard of.
Keep your business to yourself first off.
Right? All right. So we'll talk about good old Abe Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln?
Abe Lincoln.
What's that?
Robin Hood Men in Tights. Hey, Blinken. Did you say hey, Blinken or Abe Lincoln? Never mind. Okay.
Why would someone say hey, Blinken?
Because one of the characters' name was Blinken. I was blind.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
God, you should watch it. It's one of my favorite movies.
I know Alex has never seen it. I really should watch it.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Right off the bat.
You did. Okay. So Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12th, 1809, and was an American lawyer, politician, and statesman who was the 16th president of the United States. He was elected president in 1861 until his death or assassination in 1865. He was most known for abolishing slavery.
And being on the penny.
He's on the penny.
I feel like you should get more credit than the penny.
They didn't even mention that on Wikipedia. Sorry, dude. So you're known for abolishing slavery, being on the penny, leading the Union through the American Civil War to defend the nation as a constitutional union and succeeding in defeating the Confederacy. He expanded the power of the federal government and he modernized the U.S. economy, which is probably why he's on the fucking penny.
And the $5 bill?
Yeah.
I feel like this man deserves to be on higher denominations of currency, though, for like what he's accomplished.
I mean, a $5 is good. The penny's a little
I feel like abolishing slavery gets you at least a quarter, but
who's on the quarter?
I don't remember. I don't have any change in front of me. Grayson could probably
I actually have change. I do. I have a quarter.
Hey, look, there's Lincoln. Is that Washington?
Oh, yeah. What did Washington do?
He was the first president.
Whatever.
Right?
Anyway. So Abraham Lincoln was 6'4".
Yeah, he was a tall boy.
Tall and ugly, no offense.
But he had a beard. He was tall and had a beard.
But he was like emaciated.
But I feel like in 2023.
Oh, yeah.
That would be like...
It would be the look.
It's like Adam Driver. Like he's super tall.
His ears are too big.
I mean, he is normally, most people would not give him another glance, but Kylo Ren and all of that. I loved him in Girls, but throw a beard on any man, and if he's beyond 6 foot,
that's a good
ladies
point.
Go crazy.
All right,
regardless
Abe, you
of
can
how
get
they
it.
look.
All right, so he was 6'4", married to Mary Todd, and he had 4 children: Robert, Edward, Willie, and Tad.
I had no idea that they had any kids.
I like the name Tad. I think that's good. Like a little tadpole.
Was it like short for something?
Didn't say so.
Thaddeus. I don't know. Okay.
What, Thaddeus? Do you watch To Kill a Mockingbird or something recently?
No, but I was thinking about that not that long ago.
We're like in each other's minds today.
It's weird.
Anyway, so Lincoln's assassin was named John Wilkes Booth, and he was a well-known actor and a Confederate spy from Maryland. He attended Lincoln's last public address on April 11th, 1865, where Lincoln had talked about his willingness to include black men into the franchise, and that really pissed Booth off, and he decided right then and there he was going to kill Lincoln.
So not that far off from how people are today.
Yeah. Just a little bit more like gung-ho.
Yeah.
Booth had learned that Lincoln was planning on attending a play with General Grant at the Ford Theater on April 14th, 1865. So 3 days later.
Oh, okay.
That was where he decided he was going to assassinate Lincoln. At the last minute, General Grant went to New Jersey to visit his children, and Lincoln's wife, Mary Todd, and guest Mayor Henry Rathbone joined him instead. The play they saw was Our American Cousin.
Okay.
On the day of his murder, Lincoln had signed legislation establishing the U.S. Secret Service, which I did not know. And the night of the play, Booth entered the back of the Lincoln's Theater box at 10:15, crept up behind him, and fired a round into the back of Lincoln's head, putting him in a critical condition. Mayor Rathbone had struggled and fought with Booth, but was stabbed, and Booth was able to escape.
Oh.
Lincoln was transported across the street to Peterson House, where he remained in a coma for 8 hours before succumbing to his injuries and dying at 7:22 a.m. on April 15th, 1865.
Well, at least he wasn't conscious and suffering.
Yeah, right. Lincoln's body was buried at Oak Ridge Cemetery in Springfield and now lies within the Lincoln Tomb, also in Springfield, Illinois. So now our beloved JFK, as we should all know by now. John Fitzgerald Kennedy was born on May 29th, 1917 in Brooklyn, Massachusetts. He was an American politician and was the 35th president of the United States from 1961 until his death or assassination in 1963. He was most known for his foreign policy, which concerned relations with the Soviet Union and Cuba. He was married to Jacqueline Bouvier. I should know that. And had 4 children, JFK Jr., Caroline, Patrick, and Arabella, who was sadly a stillborn.
Oh.
And JFK Jr. died 8 days after his death, so only 2 out of their 4 children were made, as if they didn't have enough shit in their life.
That's a bummer.
His assassin's name was Lee Harvey Oswald. That's really hard to say, who was a former U.S. Marine and had served in Japan and in the Philippines. He was court-martialed twice and demoted, once after accidentally shooting his own elbow with an unauthorized handgun.
How do you shoot your own elbow?
Oh, did the same thing.
Also, before I did that, my initial thought was, how does one shoot themselves in the same arm?
Oh, that would be interesting.
But either way, it doesn't.
It's not great.
No.
And the second time he was court-martialed was for fighting with an officer.
Okay.
Oswald was discharged from the military after claiming his mother was disabled, and he moved to the Soviet Union, where he met his wife and they had 1 child together. In 1962, he returned to the U.S. and landed in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. In 1963, the U.S. Army Major General Edwin Walker was almost shot and killed with a bullet that just missed him while he was at his home in Dallas, Texas. From witness testimony, the ballistic evidence, and a note left by Oswald, the Warren Commission, which is the group of people that was created during the investigation of JFK's assassination.
Okay.
So they look into high profile shit. The Warren Commission found that Oswald was guilty of the attempted assassination of the Major General.
So he's
kind of off the rails, off his rocker.
Killing who he can or trying.
Shooting people. Yeah, he's trying to shoot himself, other people, and he's just not very good at it.
I mean, he was successful.
He shot his own elbow. On November 22nd, 1963, Kennedy and the First Lady got into a 1961 Lincoln Continental convertible limo to travel to the luncheon at the Dallas Market Center. There were 4 other people inside of the vehicle, and 4 Dallas motor officers accompanied the limo. The motorcade route was 10 miles long through Dallas and was designed to give Kennedy maximum exposure to the crowds passing through a suburban section in downtown Dallas before turning right onto Houston Street.
See, where they went wrong, do you remember the Pope Mobile? Where it looked like, do you know the game Trouble? where it has the
Yeah,
dice.
the
and
bubble.
Okay, so there was.
Yes, I do remember that.
Okay, so that was where they went wrong. You don't leave the president out in the open to the masses.
That at least was enclosed by a bubble. This was a convertible.
Yeah, no, they
Top down.
fucked up.
Seats back, rolling in the Cadillac.
But yeah, that was a huge oversight on the security team. I swear.
Also, an oversight was the fact that they posted in the newspaper the planned route several days prior to the actual route. So I'm like, Secret Service, you have one job.
I mean, I understand.
It was a different time.
Well, and I know that the president's agenda and stuff is common knowledge. You
But
don't have to give all the details.
Turn left here, turn right there, go down this street. It was very well documented.
This is probably why things are the way that they are now.
Yeah. So, fun fact, Alex, he wasn't with the Secret Service, but when he was in the Navy, he got to work beside Obama.
Oh,
There's like pictures of Obama talking and he's in the background. And then he
interesting.
locked his knees and fell.
Alex did.
Yep, that's why his scar under his chin. He doesn't listen to this, so he won't hear that.
I learned something about him all the time, and I love it.
So as the limo turned left onto Elm Street and Kennedy started to wave to all the people,
Freddy Krueger came out and slashed him in the face.
close, he was shot with the gun.
Okay.
So 3 shots were fired. There was almost no immediate action at first because many people thought it was fireworks or a vehicle backfiring.
Okay.
So like it sounds like the first shot went out and then the second and third were in rapid succession a short period later.
Got it.
So after the first one, people were like, what the fuck was that? They didn't really think that it would be gunfire. Kennedy had been shot through his upper back and the bullet exited his throat just beneath the larynx, which is your voice box. Mrs. Kennedy faced him, put her arms around him as a driver attempted to get out of the line of fire and get everyone out of the situation.
That's so scary.
In the seat in front of Kennedy, because it's a limo. So there's the driver and front passenger, second row, third row.
Okay.
Kennedy and Jacqueline were in the back row. In the middle row was Governor Connolly. And next to him, so the seat in front of Mrs. Kennedy, was his wife, Nellie. Connolly was an experienced hunter and immediately recognized the sounds as gunshots. He turned around and did not see the president. So as he turned back around, he was about 20 degrees left of center. He was struck in the upper right back and shouted, "My God, they're trying to kill us all."
Oh.
The commission, like I mentioned earlier, the committee that was
whole
formed,
group. Yeah.
they investigated the shooting and coined the magic bullet theory, which believed that the bullet that went through and exited Kennedy's neck was the one that went into Connolly's back because it's the same.
It was a twofer.
Yeah. As the limo passed the grassy knoll, Kennedy was struck a second time by a fatal gunshot wound to the head.
Mhm.
His brain and blood splatter landed as far as the following Secret Service vehicle and motor officers behind him. Kennedy was transported to Parkland Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at 1 p.m. The investigation had begun immediately to find who the shooter was and where he or she was located. 178 witnesses on scene were little to no help. No one remembered seeing anyone in the crowd with a gun. They hadn't seen someone running.
Everyone's distracted by the president parading down the street.
And most of them didn't even know what was happening until it
No.
was way too late. At 12:36 p.m., a teenager approached a police sergeant and said he saw a colored man, using air quotes, leaning out of the 6th floor window of the depository with a rifle during the shooting. A second person reported to a different officer that he had seen a white man in khaki clothing on the same 6th floor window. So upon searching the 6th floor, deputies found an M91 38 bolt action rifle that Oswald had purchased under a false alias the previous March. The FBI found partial palm print on the rifle's barrel belonging to Oswald. Oswald had left the depository and traveled by bus to his boarding house where he retrieved a jacket and a revolver. At 1:12 p.m., so 12 minutes after his death, but about 45 minutes after the shooting, police officer J.D. Tippett found Oswald walking around, and after a brief exchange of words, Oswald shot Officer Tippett in the chest 3 times with his revolver.
Totally seems like the logical reaction, by the way.
Right? As Tippett was lying on the ground, dying slowly, Oswald walked over to him and fatally shot him for the 4th time in the temple, killing him instantly. Oswald had been spotted running into the Texas Theater without paying, and after they called the police, he was arrested inside of the theater.
Now, side quest
Sure.
a little bit. in your research on this,
Uh-huh.
was there any mention of the whole Lee Harvey Oswald doing this as a bid for attention and affection from Jodie Foster?
So JFK's assassination in and of itself is a whole rabbit hole, which
It's weird.
I did not go down rabbit hole because
Okay.
this is not the JFK assassination. This is the
Sure.
linkage between the two assassins.
Okay.
So I know there's a million different conspiracy theories that surround his death. I did not go.
I
into
just
it.
remember hearing some weird shit.
It sounds
like
vaguely
that.
familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, I didn't have any further.
I don't know. I did not look into
Okay,
it because
that's fair.
I didn't have time.
I didn't expect it, but
My next line was, there's a whole rabbit hole of conspiracies, but I'm not going down that path. So there was no definitive motive as to why Oswald killed Kennedy, but some theorize it could have been due to his commitment to Marxism or communism, the existence of personal grievances against Kennedy, a desire to effect change in the structure of society, or just to be an infamous assassin.
maybe God told him to do it.
Maybe, who knows? So now there is a very popular list of 16 similarities between Lee Harvey Oswald and John Wilkes Booth.
Got it. Let's
So
hear it.
that's what we're going to talk about. Lincoln and Kennedy both have 7 letters. Starting off strong.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not just assassins, it's also them. It's it's all entangled. Both presidents were elected to Congress in 46. So Lincoln was 1846 and Kennedy was 1946.
That's a little weird.
And they were both later elected president in 60. So Lincoln in 1860, Kennedy in 1960.
100 years apart. Ooh.
Both assassins, John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald, were both born in 39. So one in 1839, one in 1939. And they were both known by their 3 full names, both composed of 15 letters.
Interesting.
Booth ran from a theater and was caught in a warehouse. Oswald ran from a warehouse and was caught in a theater.
It's a little strange.
Both Booth and Oswald were Southerners.
Okay.
Lincoln and Kennedy's successors were both named Johnson and both born in 08. So Lincoln's successor was Andrew Johnson, born December 29th, 1808. And Kennedy's successor was Lyndon B. Johnson, born August 27th, 1908. Both presidents were married in their 30s to women in their 20s. Lincoln was 33 when he married Mary Ann Todd in 1842 when she was 23. And Kennedy was 36 when he married Jacqueline on July 28th, 1929 when she was 24. Lincoln and Kennedy were both heavily concerned with civil rights, and their views were strongly known. Lincoln felt that all slaves should be freed and issued the Emancipation Proclamation. God, that's hard to say. Which legally freed all slaves. And Kennedy was concerned with racial equality and that he was the first to propose the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Right.
Both presidents were shot in the head on a Friday. Lincoln was shot on Good Friday, so April 14th, 1865.
Wasn't a good Friday.
Apparently not for him. And Kennedy was shot on Friday, November 22nd, 1963. Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy who told him not to go into the Ford Theater. And Kennedy had a secretary named Evelyn Lincoln, and she warned him not to go to Dallas.
Are you serious?
Swear. Booth and Oswald were both killed before their cases went to trial.
Interesting.
So those are like the most common 16.
those are weird,
Right.
though.
So kind of for the record though, because
Yes.
they're not always as they seem.
Okay.
Most of them are true facts.
Oh.
But some of them have a little bit of discrepancies. So, as far as Booth and Oswald having been killed before their trials, Booth was shot and killed by police, as I mentioned, after he failed to surrender in April of 1865. Oswald was shot by a nightclub owner, Boston Corbett, while he was on his way to jail in November of 1963. So, it's just kind of like a random
Got it.
happenstance.
A nightclub owner.
Lincoln technically didn't have a secretary named Kennedy. His 2 secretary names were John Nicolai and John Hay. After Booth killed Lincoln in the Ford's Theater, he was actually caught inside of a barn in Virginia, not a warehouse.
Okay.
Kind of splitting hairs here.
Sure.
Technically, both assassins were not born in 39. Oswald was born in 1939, Booth was technically born in 1938. I don't know if it was like December fucking 31st or something.
And
And-
11:59 versus 12:01.
Right. And then lastly, not both assassins were technically Southerners. Oswald was born in New Orleans, but Booth was born in Maryland, a Union state, though he was a Confederate Southern sympathizer. So they might as well be.
There's some fact manipulation there to fit, as you were going through them, I'm like, oh my God, this is so
I remember
crazy.
hearing these like as a kid and like growing up. I'm like, I knew there was so many correlations. I only knew the running in and running out part. I didn't know anything else. But going through it, I'm like, that's pretty compelling. But even when they fact check it, it's not that far off. Yeah, they may, fib to bend this in here and there, but it's still all pretty good.
It's still very interesting.
And then lastly, there was a song titled History Repeats Itself by Buddy Starcher. It was about all of these coincidences.
Oh.
And it was a US top 40 hit during the spring of 1966. And it actually reached number 2 on the county chart.
I don't know that I've ever heard it by the name alone.
Me neither.
But it's true. History does have a habit of repeating itself.
It does.
And, 100-year time span, that's a whole lot of time.
It is, but apparently, yeah, I think it's pretty interesting.
I thought that was very interesting.
So on the crack scale, I would have to go with perfectly plausible, yet definitely deniable, because it is just random, things. But you're reaching a little.
Yes. And it's that total like Charlie with the board trying to pin red threads here and there, because once you have an idea in your head, you're going to try to.
I even found myself trying to find more similarities.
That bias of trying to make it work. And
I was definitely intentionally knowing I was trying to force puzzle pieces that didn't necessarily fit. I wasn't able to find anything.
That's why I would be a bad detective, because I would have an idea and I would be convinced that was it. And so I would be looking for that confirmation bias to make it fit my theory. And then all of the wrong people would be in jail, probably. Or maybe not. I don't know. Unless I can come up with something substantial. But
there you go.
This is why that's not my line of work.
Yeah, so that is the assassin entanglement.
Entanglement. Now that I know why you use that, that's funny. That was very interesting.
Yeah. Okay. That was just a fun little thing.
Just a little something different. But yeah, now that you mentioned it, we have had JFK
so many things.
So many times.
But his life is so crazy.
It's very interesting, and it spawned so many other stories.
Like I said, we could probably fill a podcast with the amount of JFK
I'm sure
shit.
There are some that exist solely just for him. But yeah, okay. I liked it.
Me too. So what are you going to cover in your next episode? / in about 20 minutes.
Yeah. So this pile of notes that I have, I quickly printed off because I was pressed for time. My job got in the way. But we are going to attempt to go through some of the theories that are linked to the Denver International Airport.
Apparently this was my idea. I have no idea.
Yeah, I had never heard of it. So it had to have been you. We'll go through and learn about it together all in real time.
Cool.
Yeah. But until then, we are getting to a point where we're going to need some more feedback on different topics and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we have our list, but our list is dwindling and we're looking for, other things to cover as well. And so we encourage feedback and just notes and guidance from our listeners.
Yeah, even just a comment or a DM on Instagram would help greatly, honestly.
Yeah, whatever you want to hear about, that's the best way to get a hold of us. So it's, Instagram's Crack Sisters Conspiracies. You can shoot us an email, the old-timey cracksistersconspiracies@gmail.com. Don't send us messages on Facebook or on X. We're not going to look at those. We do have an active TikTok now. So we're posting
that is your job.
little snippets, because we do record the video of all of our episodes. And so the caveat, or not caveat, but the kind of segue from that is we have a Patreon as well. So if you become a Patreon subscriber, you get exclusive access to all of the unedited bloopers and all grossness and videos of our recording everything, except for the feet. You don't get to see the feet for free.
Feet ain't free.
And even with Patreon, it's not enough to make it worth it.
It's only $5. One or three.
But yeah, you should subscribe to that. I think one of the other ideas that we had proposed was like small businesses.
Yeah, I wanted to do like a small business September, but we're already in November. So maybe small business Saturday. We're like the 3rd Saturday of every month or something. If you have a small business, just reach out to us and we can promote you. If you wanted to send us some of your product for free or explain what it is, we will happily shout it out. We have a little platform, but hey, it's better than nothing. So if that's something you're interested in, please contact us on any of the forums and we'll happily.
And we're not
do that
in
for
it
ya.
for free stuff. We genuinely
Yeah,
support
even
small
if you just want to say, hey,
business.
this is my business, I ain't giving you shit. That's cool.
That's
We'll
cool.
still
And
shout it out.
We'll mention it. But with that, stay cracked, y'all.
And have a great day.